Sienna God, hello, all this afternoon, good afternoon, what thank you for watching. So yesterday was fun. Just kidding. Sarcasm is low frequency. Anyway, so this is going to be day 22 because I got cut off. I was going to give y'all a full second video because I got had all those revelations, but then my phone decided to say no mas. So we are in the process of switching that over. But so I'll give you a couple from today, depending upon if I have some revelations during it. You may get a three-parter. All right, so this is day 22 of reading Lone Wolf Alpha Squad Copy Over by James Rink, and these are his experiences. So I finished up with the 140 Century Road in Paramus, New Jersey. And so it says, and the underwater facility of off the coast of Miami, where the Greys were performing genetic experiments on my lab victims. The Illuminati also used him for breeding purposes. Whoa. By the mid-90s, his memories were beginning to bleed through, and he began to fight for his freedom. So his handlers tried to drug him, but needles would bend as they were inserted. Whoa. So they tried killing him. But every time he was poisoned, his body would neutralize it. Every time he was shot, bullets would bounce off. He tried to break away from his handlers by moving to Atlanta, Georgia. Here's some photos. It says University of Rochester Library, MK Ultra facility. And that's going to be the building. And then Andy Pero, P-E-R-O, age 24. Man, he looks like a Notre Dame, like, type. You know what I mean? Like, big and, like, strong and stuff. And then Kurt Russell was filming the movie Soldier, so they have that poster that they would give out back then. I don't know if they still give them out now, and I reckon this is what he looks like currently. I'm not sure. So it says Left Soldier, 1998 movie starring Kurt Russell. This sci-fi action thriller is about a soldier programmed from birth to kill without feeling. Kind of on the nose, isn't it? Andy Pero was taken to the set to demonstrate his abilities. And then Andy Pero's 2008 prison mugshot. So I guess if they can't get rid of him, they can just put him in jail, right? There he is right there. You see how he looks like a freshman at Notre Dame or something like that. I guess that's how they modeled them to look. I don't know. In 1999, while in Atlanta, his handlers would pose as friends, girlfriends, and roommates. Oh, that's sad. After going bowling with his roommate, he saw a picture of a rhino, which just so happens to be his trigger code. Oh my God. To the dismay of his roommate, his memories began to come back. Andy began tapping into his repressed memories. Every step of the way he would be distracted and progress would be neutralized. He began to journal the bits and pieces of his fragmented memories. When pages of his journal began to disappear at the hands of his roommate, he soon realized how controlled his whole life had become. Desperate for help, he contacted various experts in ufology and the mind control research field, only to realize how infiltrated they are. He soon realized that not only was his roommate, this is how it's written, not only was his roommate was a handler, but so too was his girlfriend. Oh my God. After he tried to break up with her, she triggered an alter, causing him to become extremely violent. Man, the police were called, his apartment was searched, and a gun was found. The resulting confrontation landed Andy in a mental hospital for a few weeks. After his release, a close friend reported seeing some kind of object in his eye, perhaps an implanted video camera. Over time, he became more and more paranoid. Man, to escape the madness, he moved to Arizona and joined a cult. When that didn't pan out so well, he traveled abroad to exotic locations such as Nepal, Tibet, and Korea. When his money ran out, he asked his family for help, but they were programmed to not help. Oh, dang. A confrontation took place. Andy took what he needed by force, both car and cash. While under the influence of drugs, he stabbed his mother and father with a knife. After a long police chase, Andy was caught. His family pressed charges, and in the fall of 2000, he was sentenced to prison. After he was released in November 2010, we talked briefly. He wanted to set up a lawnmower business and just be left alone. He disappeared from the public forum for many years, and in April 2020 was arrested in Dallas for murdering a college acquaintance. Oh, Lord. Solutions. Some of those who have undergone this type of program and have managed to somewhat break free and go public, such as Andy Pero, James Casbolt, C-A-S-B-O-L-T, aka Michael Prince, Max Spears, S-P-I-E-R-S, Penny Bradley, B-R-A-D-L-E-Y, Anthony Zender, Zender, and Larry Solarz, Solarz. But sadly, most have either died or gone insane, and many suffer in silence with severe health problems. When an agent goes rogue like this, usually they are treated with death, or excuse me, threatened with death. Well, I guess that's kind of treated, huh? I don't know. But these threats are just fear tactics, considering all the money and time invested would be lost. If you feel you have been subjected to this programming, don't live in fear. Instead, be bold and ask for divine protection. Use discernment. Speak your truth. It doesn't matter if no one believes you and your friends and family abandon you. Stay bold and remain firm in your desire to be set free. Super soldiers have a shelf life too. By the age of 30, the mind will naturally start to integrate on its own, triggering suicide alters. By learning to recognize how reptilian, MyLab, and suicide programming affects you, you can gain control over it and not let it land you in a mental hospital or worse. Meditation is really helpful in this matter. Even if you're not a super soldier or a MyLab, humanity is at a crossroads. As we become an intergalactic society, humanity has the choice between becoming either a transhumanist, robotic Superman or an ascended light being. Chapter 6, Alternate, and alter is spelled like, well, alternate is spelled alter-nate, N-A-T-E. And now this brings us back to our original story. After going through Andy Perro's testimony, I theorized that perhaps Nate was involved in the same kind of projects as well. But this kind of stuff is so far out, you won't be going around thinking, geez, maybe my friend was involved. All I did was make a joke about this in front of Nate, and ever since my life has been different. The following conversations have been edited for spelling and clarity. Saturday, November 20th, 2004. This is Nate and James going back and forth. Nate, sweet. I joined Mensa, M-E-N-S-A. Oh, dang, that's not good. Congratulations, I always believed you could do it. What was your IQ tested to be? 168. What the hell is wrong with me? I'm a freak. Why did you think this? There's nothing wrong with that score. You should be proud. Don't be so hard on yourself. Lots of people have high IQs. There's nothing crazy about at all about it. And besides, one day you will wish it was higher. Let's see. I'm a huge person. I have a high IQ. I'm scary. Believe me, I am. And I have such a big member down there that a girl I knew a year ago won't sleep with me anymore. Trying not to laugh too hard, I asked, you sure you're not a project of the government gene manipulation? Was your father in the military? Yeah, and my uncle and my brother, the bigger one. Where, it says, were you ever taken? So it's probably, were you ever taken to government bases as a child for special lessons? Sometimes, but I just got vaccinations, and like sometimes they did physicals. I ran, they monitored my heartbeat. Do you remember any hypnosis going on? No, and I would too. Hey man, I hate the government. Yes, I agree. Why do you hate them? Oh, I can't even begin. I could almost swear I'm being watched. By whom? Look at me. My muscles and bones are spurting. I have telepathy. I'm a future seer. I'm clairvoyant. I have a huge IQ. How old were you when your father died? About 7. Did the death cause any emotional long-term trauma, like him being murdered in front of you, something of that nature? Don't want to talk about it. You should read the story of Andy Perro. Seriously, it's worth a look. His story is very similar to yours. The government has been getting genetic engineering technology from the aliens for decades. They're creating an engineered race of humans to fight in the coming civil war. They are reactivating dormant DNA that we all have in us. Andy was one example. As a child, they took him to government bases and used torture to dissociate his personality. Then, when he was 7, they used the traumatic death of his father as a way to further dissociate the personality. Oh my God, I just realized something. What? Nate logs off the internet and logs back on 10 minutes later. And it starts with James. Okay, are you gonna tell me what you forgot? What? Did you remember what happened? I don't know. Nate changes into a different person. His amnesia wasn't the only thing that was odd. James, you told me. Oh my God, I just realized something. What did you realize? I never said that. It says so on my computer screen. Do you remember the last thing I said? No. I talked about Andy Perro. Do you remember me talking about that? And then he sends ... question mark. You were asking me why you had all your abilities, and Andy Perro's story seemed to be similar to yours. Did your mother ever live in Rochester, New York when you were young, or ever lived there before? ... Born and raised in Rochester till I was 5. Oh my God, this is too strange. Your life story is becoming more and more similar to Andy's. I'm going to repeat this again because you don't seem to remember what we just talked about. The aliens have been doing genetic experiments on humans for decades. The Illuminati is working with the aliens to create a mind-controlled superhuman soldier to fight in the coming war. They are reactivating dormant DNA that all of us humans have, in particular the ability to have telekinesis and telepathy. Dude, you're crazy. No, this is what Andy claims. They've been implanting DNA from these soldiers into women with high IQs and who are often brainwashed themselves. Then they split their personality at a young age. Usually this is done at military bases using hypnosis and then trauma. Later, they use a traumatic event such as the death of the father in front of the child to further dissociate the personality. In Andy's case, his father was murdered in front of him at a young age. After high school, he went to the University of Rochester, where some Nazi CIA officers used mind control on him to develop his abilities. Andy, under hypnosis, was able to jump off a 20-story building and bring himself together. He could memorize anything instantly. He could use psychic teleportation to move to another location or use thoughts to kill. Nate, what the F are you talking about? Andy Perro's story. Who is this? Not answering the question, I continued. He was a mind control slave of the Illuminati. They were still doing this secretly in the early 90s till Andy exposed them in 1998. After Andy moved to Atlanta, they followed him to make sure Andy didn't break free of his programming. But it was too late, so they tried to kill him, but he couldn't. He could make his muscles 1,000,000 times harder than steel, and needles couldn't go in. He could even stop bullets. They tried to kill him, but couldn't after he killed 8 agents. They gave up. He moved to Atlanta. They continued to watch him. Andy broke away through the help of some friends, but now he is back under mind control, and the Illuminati implanted his eyes with a camera. Let me ask you something. At this point, Nate again logs off the internet and returns 10 minutes later. Something different happens this time. Instead of telling me what he just remembered, he appears to not even know who I am. So yeah, this started to scare me. That's why I gave him my user ID instead of my name, which is Bearish, BEARISH_123. Nate, who are you? It's me, your friend Bear. Who are you? Who the hell is Bear? I'm Nate's friend. Is this Nate's soul speaking me? Speaking me? Probably speaking to me. Nate, stay away from Nate. He is a very special project, so to say. James, but he's expressed desire to have free will. Why can't he have it? If everyone had free will, terror would run amok. That is why there is love. What you're doing to him is wrong. You could help him do good things for mankind. Wrong, that cannot be determined by you and your hippie friends. I'm not a hippie, and wrong is determined by serving yourself. Good is determined by serving others. He is serving others. He's serving us. But Nate wasn't even given a choice. Doesn't God allow free will? His dad was. His father is the sole foundation of why he's here. Give him time. Why must Nate pay for his father's choices? Time is running out, there isn't much time left. There's plenty of time. Why not make a difference now for the better? Isn't life love? No, life is a struggle to stay alive and peaceful, and that is what our creations strive for. God is love, and he breathed it into us, his spirit. This is why life is love. The natural law of creation gives us free will. You're violating Nate's free will. You have to learn some lessons on humans. I'm willing to learn, but Nate is my friend, and he's been hurt so much. You could do so much more if you followed the natural order of the universe. Nate has taken several wounds, which we have repaired. We need him for several more missions, and then we will dispose of him. Was he even asked if he wanted to do these missions? No, but his father did agree. Then you have no authority over him, correct? Nate is not his father. We do what is right, maybe not morally, maybe not now, but it is right nonetheless. It is unbalanced. I'm going to stop it right there and then continue on the next one. Don't go high, you get you in a good chance. Get to meet again. Love you, mean it.